Hello everybody, in this lesson I will deal with squares, cubes and square roots in integers. When a number is raised to any even power, the answer is positive. So when we start with this bracket -1 squared, then this is the same as -1 times -1, where we say a minus times a minus is a plus, 1 times 1 is 1. Or the short method is, if this is an even power, then it changes that negative into a positive. So this one, -2 squared inside a bracket, you can just say this 2 turns this negative into a positive, and 2 squared is equal to 4. This one, because it's an even power, this negative turns into a positive. 3 squared is 9, and don't forget to square the x, and then it becomes x squared. Now you must be very careful. This one's answer is you just write down the minus and then 1 squared is 1. Can you see the difference with the bottom one and the one on top there? When it's in a bracket -1 squared, then the minus becomes a positive. But if there's no bracket, the minus goes and it's just 1 squared. So when I give you -2 squared, the answer will be negative, and 2 squared is 4. And have a look at the one on top with the bracket. That one's answer is positive 4. So when I give you -5 squared, the answer is negative, and 5 squared is 25. Remember, it's not 5 times 2, it's 5 times 5. So on this one, there is an even power, and then the minus will become a positive, and then each and every term has to be raised to the power of 4. So therefore 2 to the power of 4 is 16, a to the 4, and then on b, you will say b squared raised to the power of 4, it's 2 times 4, so therefore it's b to the 8. And then this one, again, this is an even power, so the even power will change the minus into a positive, and then every term has to be raised to the power of 2. Therefore, 3 squared is 9. On x, you will say 3 times 2 is x to the 6, and on y, 5 times 2 is 10. When a negative integer is raised to an odd numbered power, the answer is always negative. So when I give you -1 to the power of 3, the answer will be negative, and 1 to the 3 means 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. -1 to the power of 5, so your power is an odd number, an uneven number, so therefore a negative to the 5 will be negative, and 1 to the 5 is 1. -2 to the 3 will be negative, 2 to the 3 is 8. -3 to the 3 will be negative 27. Here, you wait with the minus outside the bracket, and then you will say -1 cubed is negative, and 1 cubed is 1. And then a negative times a negative is a positive 1. Here, you wait with the negative outside, and then you say -x to the 3 will be negative, and then you also raise x to the 3. And now a negative times a negative is positive x to the 3. On this one, you will say 6 squared, 6 squared means 6 times 6, which is 36. You wait with that minus outside the bracket, and you say negative to the power of 3 remains a negative, and 3 to the 3 is 27. And now there's your 36. A minus times a minus is a plus, 27, and then 36 plus 27 is 63. On this one, first of all, you'll do what's inside the bracket. So 5 minus 8 is negative 3 squared minus, and then negative 2 to the 3 is negative, and 2 to the 3 is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And then inside the bracket, negative 3 squared will become plus 9, and a minus times a minus is a plus 8. And then 9 plus 8 is 17. I just want to focus your attention to this one. In fact, we touched on it in the previous slide, but this is the formal rule where you say if there's an x to the a with a bracket raised to the power of b, then the bracket means you will multiply the exponents. So on the first example, this one, there's the 4, it's an even power, so this minus will change into a plus. 2 to the 4 is 16, so you will raise everything to the power of 4. And then it will be a to the 4, and b will be 2 times 4 is 8. This one, it's an even power. You will raise everything inside the bracket to that power. So the negative will become a positive. 3 squared is 9. And then on the x, because it's a bracket, you will multiply. So 3 times 2 is 6. And y, 5 times 2 is 10. On this one, negative 2x squared inside a bracket will become plus 2 squared is 4, and then x squared. And then here, you leave the minus, and it's only the 4 that you have to square. So 4 squared is 16, plus 3 to the 3 is 27, plus x squared. And now there's like terms. So you can say 4x squared plus x is 5x squared. And then minus 16 plus 27 is equal to 11, plus 11. On this one, so you find inside a bracket negative ab raised to the power of 3. So it's an uneven number. This minus will stay a minus, and you have to raise every power to 3. So it becomes a to the 3, b to the 3. And then here, in fact, you will multiply in the 2ab. So you say a plus times a minus is a minus, 2. And now you must be careful, because now it's a times a squared. And when you multiply, you add exponents. There's an invisible 1. So that one will become a to the 3. And with the b as well, there's an invisible 1 as an exponent, and you multiply. So when you multiply, you add exponents. So b to the 1 times b squared is b to the 3. And now you can add everything. Negative a to the 3, b to the 3, minus 2, a to the 3, b to the 3 is minus 3. A to the 3, b to the 3. They are like terms. Therefore, you can add them. You can find the cube root of a negative number, but there is no real solution to the square root of a negative number. Let's look at some examples. If I give you the cube root of negative 8, then the answer is negative 2. The cube root of negative 125 is negative 5. The cube root, or the square root of negative 16 is non-real. You cannot find the square root of a negative. This one, the minus, is outside of the square root sign. So that one's answer is negative, and then the square root of 16 of positive 16 is 4. The square root of minus 100, non-real. Why? You cannot find the square root of a negative number. This one, the negative, is outside of the root sign. So you wait with the minus. The square root of positive 100 is 10. For this one, the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of x squared is just x, and the square root of y squared is y. The square root of negative 25a squared, non-real. Why? Because there's a negative under a square root. The square root of 36x to the 4 will be 6x squared. When it's a square root, you halve that exponent. The cube root of 27a to the 3 will be 3a. The cube root of negative 125b to the 3 will be negative 5b. Find the value of the following expressions. So on this one, what you have to do is you wait with the root and the 10, and you say a minus times a minus is a plus 6. So that thing becomes 10 plus 6 is 16, and now you can say the square root of 16 is 4. This one, what you have to do is you first have to work out 100 minus 36, which is 64, and then the square root of 64 is 8. Now look at that one. It looks as if it's the same sum, but it's not. This one is square root of 100 minus square root of 36. So this one will be the square root of 100 is 10 minus the square root of 36 is 6. 10 minus 6 is 4. Here, 225 minus 81 is 144. And then the square root of 144 is 12. This one, it's the square root of 4 divided by 81. So you just deal with each one individually. And you say the square root of 4 is 2 and the square root of 81 is 9. That one, you will turn this one into an improper fraction, still under the root. So you will say 2 times 4 is 9, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9 over 4 plus a half. And then you say the square root of 9 is 3 over the square root of 4 is 2 plus a half. So you have 3 over 2 plus 1 over 2 is 4 over 2, which is 2. And then the last one, the cube root of 0,008 is 0,2, because 0,2 times 0,2 times 0,2 is 0,008. Find the value of these expressions. So the first one, you will start by saying the cube root of negative 8 is negative 2. You wait with the minus, and then you say negative 1 inside a bracket squared becomes plus 1. And then minus 2 writes with, and you say a minus times a plus is minus 1. And then negative 2, negative 1 is negative 3. On this one, you wait with the 4 times. Then you deal with 58 minus 9 is 49. Minus, and then 5 squared is 25. Remember, this minus, you will just take it down. There's no bracket there, so it's just 5 squared. And then 4 times, and then the square root of 49 is 7 minus 25, and then you deal with 4 times 7, which is 28, minus 25 is equal to 3. On this one, you wait with the cube root, and you first do what's inside under the cube root sign. So 3 squared is 9 minus, and now you say minus 1 squared becomes plus 1. And then still under the cube root sign, 9, a minus times a plus is a minus 1, and then the cube root of 9 minus 1 is 8, and the cube root of 8 is 2. On this one, you will say, you wait with the minus 3a, and you do the square root of 9 is 3 minus, and then this one, negative 2 squared becomes plus 4. Close the bracket. You wait with minus 3a, you wait with 3, and now you're going to say a minus times a plus is a minus 4. And then you wait with minus 3a. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. And now you say a negative times a negative is a positive. 3a times 1 is 3a. And then here's a nice one for you. So this one, you will wait with the cube root, and you will first deal with this, the square root of 64x to the 6. So that one will be the square root of 64 is 8, and the square root of x to the 6 is x to the 3. And now you say the cube root of 8 is 2, and the cube root of x to the 3 is just x. In the next video, I will discuss typical exam type questions on integers. Click on the video in the left-hand corner to take you straight to the next video. And can I ask you, have you subscribed yet? And do me a favor, please tell all your friends about my channel.